Hey, what's going on everyone, ChazmaN here, and please accept my apology, for I have been a bit late with a couple of my video game pickups, but to make up for it, today I'm going to talk about everything I picked up from October and into November. I have some new, really cool and interesting games added to my collection, so needless to say, I'm really excited to get into it, so let's go ahead and take a peek. These are ChazmaN's video game pickups for the months of October and November. Easing our way into this, I picked up a copy of Nickelodeon Dora Puppy for the Nintendo DS. It is an adventure game that was developed and published by 2K Games. I picked up this game from a local pawn shop for about $1 and it's retailing at only about $7 at the moment. In terms of covering this game at some point, sorry to disappoint, but I do not believe I will make time to play this game anytime soon. But maybe down the line if someone can convince me, maybe I'll give it a try for a little bit. I don't know. Next up, I picked up a copy of Batman Arkham City Game of the Year Edition for the PlayStation 3. It's an action game that was developed by Rocksteady Studios and published by Warner Brothers. I picked up this copy at a local pawn shop for $1 and it's only retailing at about $6 at the moment. Now, most certainly at some point down the line you can expect me to cover or at least stream this game. If you don't know, the Arkham series is one of my favorite video game franchises. I also did originally cover and review the first Batman game, Batman Arkham Asylum. Check that out up above. So yeah, I definitely love this game and you can expect me to talk about it sometime in the future. A new one added to the collection is Bubsy Claws Encounter of the Furried Kind for the SNES. It's a platformer that was developed and published by Accolade, and I picked this game up at a local pawn shop for about $14 and it retails at about $15. Now, to be 100% transparent with you guys, I know absolutely nothing about the Bubsy franchise. So if this is a game you guys would like to see, please do let me know. I mean, maybe down the line this would be one that might be kind of interesting to check out. I'm not even 100% sure if these platformers are beloved or hated, so in that aspect it might be an interesting playthrough, I don't know. What do you guys think? Along with Bubsy, I added the game Darius Twin for the SNES. It's a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up or shmup that was developed and published by Taito. I picked it up at the same pawn shop for $14 and it's retailing at $15 at the moment. For me, I'm actually pretty interested in this game, so I definitely think at some point in the near future I would like to try this game out. I've read that to finish it to completion is only maybe about 3 to 4 hours, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, like I said, I think you can definitely expect me to play this one. Added to the collection next is a copy of Rayman Origins for the Nintendo Wii. This platformer was developed and published by Ubisoft, and I picked it up off of a buddy of mine for $1 and it's retailing at about $10 right now. This is a game that I definitely have on my backlog or on my list for games I want to cover. I've always been kind of curious. I really love the original Rayman on the PS1, but to be honest I haven't touched any of the other Rayman games other than that one. I've also had a friend who talked this game up pretty high. He actually really liked it, so once again I do think this is one you can expect a video on. Next up added to the collection is Lord of the Rings Aragorn's Quest for the Nintendo Wii. This action RPG was developed by Headstrong Games and published by Warner Brothers. This copy I picked up at a pawn shop for $1 and it's retailing at about $7 at the moment. A little known secret about me is that the Lord of the Rings original trilogy is one of my favorite all-time movie series, so I was pretty surprised by this title because it is one that I had never heard of, so most definitely in the future this is a game I would like to try out and definitely play and stream for you guys. I added a copy of Onimusha Warlords for the PlayStation 2. This hack and slash was developed and published by Capcom. I picked it up at a local pawn shop for about $1 and it's retailing at about $9 at the moment. The Onimusha franchise is a series I've always really wanted to play, so very much I'm excited to add this one to my collection, and you can definitely expect me to cover and play this one at some point in the future. Bongoing our way into this next pickup, I picked up a copy of Donkey Konga for the Nintendo GameCube. This is a rhythm game that was developed by Namco and published by Nintendo. I picked it up at a local pawn shop for $5 and it's retailing at about $21 at the moment. Unfortunately, if you're wanting me to cover this game at some point in the future, I don't think this is one I care about all that much. The bongo controllers with the whole rhythm aspect of the game, for me at least, are not that tantalizing, and I don't think I'm that interested. But perhaps down the line, if you guys really poke and prod at me, maybe at some point I may try it out. Now, everything I just said can also be applied to this next game, which is Donkey Konga 2 for the GameCube. This rhythm game was also developed by Namco and published by Nintendo. I picked it up from the same local pawn shop for about $5, and it's retailing for about $21 at the moment. On a very interesting note, I added the game Tai the Tasmanian Tiger 3, Night of the Quincan for the Nintendo GameCube. This platformer was developed by Chrome Studios and published by Activision. I picked it up from a local pawn shop for about $10, and as of this video, it's retailing at about $28. Based on some trailers I've seen of this game, it looks fairly fun, kind of reminds me of a Ratchet & Clank knockoff, in a way. So I do think at some point down the line you can expect me to play this game, although I would like to collect the first 2 games first, and maybe do a playthrough through all 3 of them. A game now added that I didn't even realize I was missing was Gears 5 for the Xbox One. It's a shooter that was developed by the Coalition and published by Xbox. I picked it up at a retail store for $10, and it's retailing at about $10 as well. Personally, for me, I have already played Gears 5, but please do let me know down in the comments if this is a game you guys would like to see me stream or perhaps cover in some sort of way. So yes, I'd definitely love to see your feedback. Added to the collection next is a copy of Doomslayer's Collection for the Xbox One. It's a shooter that was developed by id Software and published by Bethesda. I picked it up at an online retailer for about $5 and it's retailing at about $12. This is another title that I have already played, but if this is a game you guys would like to see me stream or cover at some point down the road, please do let me know down in the comments. I do absolutely love this game, so any excuse to go back and play it again would be time well spent for me. The next totally radical game added to my collection is Riders Republic for the Xbox One. It's a sports title that was developed and published by Ubisoft. I picked it up in retail for about $30 and it's retailing at about $50 as of the time I bought it. Now I've gotten to play this game just a little bit since I bought it, and I've enjoyed it for a few hours, but for the most part, I kinda gave up on it already. Perhaps down the line, if this is a game you guys would like to see me cover, maybe I'll get back to it, but like I said, I feel like I've had my fill already. Next up, I added a copy of Super Monkey Ball Bananamania Anniversary Edition for the Nintendo Switch. It's a platformer that was developed by Ryu ga Gotoku Studios and published by Sega. I picked it up from a local retail store for $20, and it's retailing at about $35 at the moment. Sorry to disappoint anyone out there, but I have never played a Super Monkey Ball game, so I'm not quite sure if anytime soon I'd try it out, but maybe if any of you out there could give me a little nudge down in the comments, I may think about trying it out sometime. Okay, so for my next 3 pickups, I'm going to go ahead and combine them all into one, mainly because they are all a part of the same franchise, they are also first-party Nintendo games, and I also picked them up all at the same pawn shop. The first one is Paper Mario The Origami King, an RPG that I paid $15 for and it's retailing at about $28. Next is Super Mario 3D AllStars, a platformer that I paid $30 for and it's retailing at about $45. And lastly, we have Mario Golf Super Rush. It's a golf game that I paid $15 for and it's retailing at about $38 at the moment. And lastly, all 3 of these titles are games that I definitely would like to stream and cover at some point, so definitely keep an eye out for each of these. More in particular, I think Paper Mario The Origami King, it's definitely one I've been eyeing on my shelf, and I think I would like to try it out sometime in the near future. And finally, my final video game pickup for the months of October and November is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Nintendo Switch. It's an adventure game that was developed by Grezio and published by Nintendo. I picked it up from that same local pawn shop for about $30, and it's retailing at about $35. this game probably above everything else I picked up is one that I most definitely would like to play at some point. In fact, I was even making plans for playing it for the holiday season, but I had a friend who suggested another Zelda game, so definitely keep an eye out for that playthrough here soon. But definitely do not fret, Link's Awakening will be on EnteR ChazmaN most likely sometime next year. Well, there you have it. Those were my video game pickups for the months of October and November. Overall, I was really happy with what I picked up. I'd love to hear from you guys what you thought about them. Did you think they were great, awesome, or just meh? Please do feel free to let me know down in the comments. And as always, I would like to say, just please like, share, and subscribe if you guys could, if you liked it. And before I go, I would just like to say happy holidays, everyone. I hope you all have the absolute best Christmas as possible. I very much look forward to the next time we meet here on EnteR ChazmaN. Hey now, I see you made it through the video and liked or even possibly loved it. Well, if you want to see any more additional content or you'd like to get into contact with me, consider checking out some of my social medias right here. And if you'd like to go above and beyond and want to support my channel monetarily, here is also a couple places where you can do so. And if nothing else, simply liking, sharing, and subscribing would make me the happiest Chazman on the planet.